Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. And indeed, it is a brand new day. I started off my day by going walkies in gray, chill fog. And by the time I got back, it was sunny and getting warm. Oh, thumbs up for that. Still, though, it is a new day, and I've got some things that I don't know if I've talked about. I know one of them I haven't because I just got it yesterday. But I've talked. There's a game called Pest, or at least it was going to be coming out. I can't remember what, but they also had a solo little game for it, and I know I've talked about it, called Into the Light or Light in the Dark. It's Light in the Dark. I know I've talked about it, but I can't remember if I've ever showed it. So I'll come back to all this. Because what showed up yesterday, I wanted to check this out, see if it was any good, and it was cheap, 15 bucks. Masters Atlas World Building Tiles. It's got 48 of these just odd-shaped things, doors and chests, treasure, things like that. And then there's other pieces like this. Like I said, it was 15 bucks, so I was like, hey, I'll check that out because it's something I've wanted to do. In the game Heroes of Kalinor, it's on a grid-based thing, and he suggests when you get the battle mats, photocopy the battle mat, glue it onto cardboard, cut out the cardboard, and there you got your battle mat. That's work, a lot more work than I can really do with all of my various issues. So this is what they look like. These parts, I brought out two of each kind so that you can see front and back. You know, parchment and just plain. But in like Heroes of Kalinor, you start off in a hall like this. And all of a sudden, without my having to print off a bunch of stuff, I've got a corridor that you start off in. And if you just need regular corridors, then you just have it come off like that. Set it on your table, and then you've got your corridor. And then they've got little doors that you just set down as part of the package thing. And then, of course, if you need to have a smaller piece, I mean, you can set these like this, make any sort of weird maze-like thing you want. You wouldn't overlap them, but you can do anything like that. And you can put 4 of these together and you got a mighty big room. So I'm really excited because Heroes of Kalinor, and there's a couple other types of their miniatures agnostic solo wargaming. Plus the rules are such that you can have other people play as well. I mean, it sucks. Even at this, put them together, or even that thing that the other one that I've got that's, you know, not nice and convenient like this, but it's more big battle matty. You can even draw the things like for the Mike Lambo Solitaire War books. Because, again, one of the things that I talked about yesterday with there's flavor text and flavor graphics. I mean, this is like this room and a room filled with stuff that you're using a lot of flavor text for, making it look all like this. I was thinking about that yesterday because in the game 4 Against Darkness, even though all of the rooms are kind of weird shaped, that doesn't matter. They are effectively this size or this shape with the doors that come out. If there's like 3 doors that come out, and then, you know, you just put the 3 doors here. Oh, there's the corridor that comes out and turns. Well, you can just put the door here. Or put the corridor and then the door. It's really, really easy to do that way, but I was thinking more of the abstraction level. And I just ADHD'd out hard. Oh my God, I know I was... This is another one of these situations where it just grabbed inside of my head and pulled out what I was talking about. I forgot what I was talking about as I was talking about it. I know it's flavor text, and maybe I'm back with what I was trying to say. Yes, because for Against Darkness, you can make them like this to abstract them out, which is, then you're down to like the D100 dungeon rooms, because that does abstract them down into each room is this big, and well, this shape, not this big, I keep doing that, is this shape, and then there's X number of doors in the room, but only one per wall because they stack like this. No corridors, just room to room to room. That abstracts it out quite strongly. And I was talking about abstraction of dungeons yesterday with like Harper's Quest, where it's like literally just, you know, this big block, this big block, this big block. Oh, you've just finished the dungeon. They abstracted out that much. I at least like the fact that you can map out what you're doing in D100 Dungeon. It's a very granular thing. But this is something, like I said, that I thought was very cool and I wanted to show. But this is the one, this, I know I've talked about it, and I just wanted to show this off because, again, I know I've talked about it, and I like to talk about these things. It's just, they're hard to remember. ADHD blows. It's got, you know, nice instruction manual, and it's nice. It's got good graphics and stuff like that. And then there's a whole bunch of little tokens and such for the things. You put those on top of city spots and all that. And then there's little tokens to match your stuff. You got a little standees for your character. There's dice that you get to roll. And then these are inside of the plastic thing, but you have various monster type cards for the monsters that you're trying to clear for the land. And then there's the map pieces, and since the map pieces, let's see if I can open this up so it's easier to see. I was trying to keep these things from going everywhere, but these are large enough because they, is that, can you read that? I don't know if it's upside down or not. I can never tell, or if it's backwards. I think it goes like that. Either way, it's, you see the way the roads run, and so you collect, I can English. I promise you, I can English. But because you're laying the pieces down randomly, that you'll get a random world set up every time. And so that's cool that way. I've tried it once and I failed horribly. And I'm going to come back to that idea. And then this is the other one. I was digging through my stuff in the storage unit. And this. Did I talk about this one before? I have no ideas. It's moderately... It's something you can pretty quickly and easily set together. And it's just played on cards. And you know, the same card might be 1, 3... As I try to remember my numbers, 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, like that. You just turn and flip the cards, and then it's got monsters along the bottom, and there's their stats and your stats. So it's pretty simple and pretty easy to play. And I hate the way they fit together so well. But again, it's just got dice that I just emptied out into the container, so I can only show off the actual card piece. And this is it. This is the dungeon. And this is 12 levels of dungeon. So how about that? But the dice were in this, and I just accidentally dumped them all inside, and so close that back up. But yeah, it's a dungeon crawl type puzzle game as well, in that you have the monsters and then you've got to get rid of the monsters, so you got to travel, and you know, you've got movement points and such like that. So thumbs up. Yes, I remember now what I was going to say. When I mentioned that I get these things, and then have I played them? I've played Light in the Dark once, and I've had that for some time. I don't know how long I've had one card dungeon. ADHD is fun, but do I play these things? Periodically. There are some that will I ever play them? Probably I never will. But some people collect glass frogs. And when you get a glass frog, you'll put it up on your shelf with your other glass frogs. And then you dust the shelf and you make sure your glass frogs are dust free and spider webs and cobwebs off of it, because you like your glass frogs. You're proud of your glass frog collection. They bring you pleasure. And they just sit there on the shelf because they're glass and they're frogs. So I mean, what can you do with a glass frog except admire it? When you die, of course, the very first thing that's going to happen is all those glass frogs are going to be either thrown away, the set broken up and given to people, or just given out. And they don't matter anymore. But when you have glass frogs sitting on a shelf, are you using them correctly? Well, probably. These are my glass frogs. They sit on a shelf and they bring me pleasure. Occasionally, I can even play one of them. Not always, but the fact that I have them brings me pleasure, even if I don't play them. I bring them down, I look at them, and I leaf through the books and such, and if I have the executive function power, I'll set them up and try to play. But I'm not going to beat myself up for not playing them, because they're my glass frogs. Good if I can, but bringing me pleasure is still just by being there. Nicer if I can play them. I have all of the Fabled Lands books. I bring those down and look at them. I don't know how many. They're up there. But I can't see because there's a freaking wall in the way. So I'm looking over there. I don't know. It's a stack about this thick, maybe? I don't know. It's a handful and a half of Mike Landau solitaire wargame books, where they have some science fiction, some fantasy, primarily historical and not current, but within the last 100 years, wars. So thumbs up for that. And they bring me pleasure, even though I've never played a single one of the Mike Landau books, of any of those. But it brings me pleasure just to read them, because they're my glass frogs. So thumbs up for that. But yeah, that's generally what I've been doing. I have been going for walkies in the morning. I have been playing video games and trying to exist as best I can. Unfortunately, still, I am having horrific insomnia. It takes close to 1 o'clock before I fall asleep, and I am awake and trying not to just get out of bed by about 4. I am exhausted, and you can probably see the bags underneath my eyes. And this is taking 24 milligrams of melatonin. And last night decided to give it another shot. Stopped off at a local pot shop, downed a shot. I'm trying to say hot and shot at the same time, and unable to say either. I can English, I promise you. Downed it on the way home, and then it was like 10 o'clock when I had gone out and did that sort of stuff, so I was waiting for it to go into effect to hopefully help me sleep better, and I don't think I felt a thing from that, because when I went to bed I sure didn't. And since I was up at 4 from pain, so I'm just tired is all I'm trying to say. But doing my very best, and later on I'm going to go walkies again, and that's a very good thing. I like to go walkies, and that's a good. I'm replaying Grim Dawn, and of course still downloading other things and playing them as well. I'm Grim Dawn, I'm still playing Oblivion. God, there was another one that I wanted to talk about too, but instead I'm going to mention this one real fast. It has been a while since I have played the game Wobble Dogs. If you are... Well, the last time I was trying to say if you are new, but then I faded out because I'm getting fewer and fewer viewers all the time, so hey. But it's, if you'll remember, or if you've never heard, the game Wobble Dogs, it plays. Not great, but it plays on my laptop here. And so I was playing Wobble Dogs for a while, which is, if you don't know, they're weird oblong-bodied dogs with barely functional legs that they bounce around and move on, and then heads, of course, that they bark and eat food with. And then you're trying to breed them, and they're mutated, and they mutate and change by going into cocoons. And as much as they are just really, really stupid little things, I mean, they're hard to even get emotionally invested in, because again, they have oblong, weird bodies, and they barely function as any creatures at all. But it's been a while since I played, because I kept getting too emotionally invested in all my Wobble Dogs and just getting all broken up when they died. So it's been a time. It's been a time. Such is life on that. Oh yes, last thing I'm going to say before I call this one for the day. For a time, there has been the PlayStation 2 emulator PSSX2. I have heard about it for ages, had never known how well it worked. I was watching Call Me Kevin play The Thing, a PlayStation 2 game. And I started thinking, you know, I bet my laptop wouldn't even run PCSX2, even if it does run a lot of games. So I downloaded PCSX2, and I got it all set up, and I had a ROM, Baldur's Gate, another thing that I had the disc for. I did buy that game, and that's a good thing. I mean, I'm not going to say anything morally or ethically. I stopped pirating things ages ago, not because of morals and ethics, but it's a step. My executive function found that even harder to do than just buying something. So I haven't done anything like that in like over 10 years. But I've got the game Baldur's Gate, and I tried it on PCSX2. I was playing Baldur's Gate, what is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, something that full name, on my laptop, the PlayStation 2 game, as a PlayStation 2. Now, with this laptop, it plays in slow motion. It does not play as fast as it normally would. If it was more current hardware, it might. Probably would. But as wonderful and as much as I like this laptop, because it's hardware made for Windows 8.1, they were still getting this stuff together while they were getting 8.1 hardware together, which means we were all still using Windows 7 when they made this hardware. So yeah, it's got little issues with some stuff, but it plays some things, especially Oblivion, quite well. It plays other things, and there's a fair number of Steam games that would boot up and play, but don't. And then, of course, it has troubles just dealing with the plain Steam client itself. Yay. But it plays some things quite well. A couple. But if you could, leading into that, I have links leading to a GoFundMe down in the video description, leads to a, well, yeah, GoFundMe. I'm trying to get the money together so I can buy a computer that will play modern games just halfway well. They don't have, I'm not trying to grift and get a mega thing. I just need a computer that'll play modern things, record that stuff, and then be able to edit video. So if you could check that out, that would be awesome. Thumbs up and thank you. If you cannot donate, if it would hurt you, if you do not want to, of course, don't even think about it. But if you do and you won't hurt and you've taken care of yourself, if you could think about it, that would be very cool. Thank you. And hey, if you are a patron, thumbs up and thank you. You are beautiful and awesome people. A very, very good thing. I appreciate your help so much. You take me from here to here. Now, here is still hurting, but it's so much better than here. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, if you left me a comment, thumbs up and thank you. I read as many comments as YouTube shows me. I thumbs up and heart every one that YouTube will allow, and I answer as many as I can with my nerve compression. It's not as many as I would like. But thumbs up and thank you all so very, very much. And since we might as well do this, if you've watched this far, if you could write light dark in the comments, that would be very, very cool. It would show both me and the YouTube algorithm that people do actually watch these videos every once in a while. For those few of you that actually do this, thumbs up, thank you. It is appreciated. Well, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very, very good thing. And oh my God, ADHD/ADD blows. Forgetting what I'm talking about as I'm talking about, it hurts. You take care.